Hello friends, in this video we're going to be integrating with GitHub MCP through our IDE. We're going to be seeing how we can do that inside our .NET application, how we can leverage it, and why do we might need to do this. And we're going to be discussing the difference between integrating with GitHub through MCP and through direct APIs. So let's jump into it. If we want to integrate our application with GitHub, there's different options. We have MCP and we have direct APIs. So GitHub provide us with direct APIs in order for us to use them, in order for us to send actions, send commands, whatever we want, we can do that directly through their APIs. But if you can see here, GitHub has a lot of APIs. So for example, if you want to integrate with the repos API, webhooks, pull request, issues API, whatever it is, we need to create the interface to communicate with that API. We need to manage the authentication for every single one of them. We need to make sure that we set up every single APIs with all of the different variants. We need to make sure that we are managing the DTOs, the incoming and the outgoing. We need to make sure that we are always on the top version. And this is going to be for every single one of these API integration that we have. But on the other hand, we can use something called an MCP integration. And what does this mean? MCP is basically a model context protocol. So what we're doing here is basically we are leveraging an AI model, and this AI model is basically gonna take a look at all of the different APIs that exist within GitHub, and we're gonna be basically allow it to manage this for us. So basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to use an AI model. It could be OpenAI, it could be Anthropics, it could be anyone that we want. And through that AI model, we're telling it like you need to go and check all of the different integrations, the MCP integrations that GitHub has. And then through that, it will actually know based on our request what it needs to do. So for example, I can tell it like you need to create a new issue for me. So basically the MCP will basically need to go check all of the different integrations that exist within GitHub. Once it finds the right one, it will get it, it will send the request to it, and it will basically create it for me. And this is in a nutshell. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to simplify our life, specifically when we're working with a large code base. And what we're trying to do is inside our .NET application within our IDE is trying to manage our GitHub repository directly from there. So what we're trying to do right now is we're gonna be first of all seeing the GitHub MCP repository, and then we're gonna be taking an example of one of my own repositories. We're gonna be adding a GitHub MCP integration through it, and we're gonna be seeing how we can actually build it. So as we can see here, through the GitHub, we have a GitHub MCP server repository, and this is basically the server that GitHub has created in order for us to leverage all of its APIs. So we can see here the use cases. We can do repository management, we can query code, CH file, request information about the structure of our project, we can create PR and automate issues creation, update, and all of that. We can have even CI/CD pipelines, we can do code analysis, and we can do even code team collaboration. So there's a lot of flexibility around that. So what we want to do is we don't want to overwhelm ourselves. We're going to try something simple. We're going to experiment with it. We're going to add a bit more to it. And then if we can see, if you are interested in exploring more into it, please let me know in the comments down below, and make sure to create a more in depth. But for now, we're just taking it step by step and trying to learn basically what it is first before we jump deep into the water. So how we can use that? We can see here that we can use the remote GitHub server, MCP server, or we can use one locally. So what we're going to be doing inside this video is we're going to be utilizing the remote GitHub MCP server. It's pretty easy to also create it locally, but just for us to save time, I don't want this video to be very long, so we're going to be using the one which is going to be remote. We can see here as well some of the prerequisites needed. We're going to be utilizing with Visual Studio. We can use it with the Claude, Cursor, Windsurf, whatever it is. We're going to be sticking with Visual Studio Code. It's not really my favorite, but it is what it is. So now that we have this here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to also show you my repository that we're going to be doing this in. And this is a very simple .NET application. This application basically has a few endpoints, and basically regarding Formula 1, it gives you the list of the drivers, it gives you the drivers' achievements. Pretty straightforward. We have created in previous videos, and we're going to be utilizing this in order for us to be able to leverage MCP. So now that we have understood the foundation of this, so now that my application is open inside Visual Studio Code, we can see here that the application is basically a Formula 1 application. It has an API, it has a controller. We can see here we have two main controller, achievement and drivers. And within this controllers, we are able to get all of the drivers, a single driver. We can do a CRUD operation on it, and we can get every single driver achievement. As simple as that. We're using a very simple database, SQLite. And we have basically a data service that manages all of the database integration. It's a quite simple application which we have again in previous videos. So what I want to do right now is I want to add a GitHub MCP to my application. So let's see how we can do that. So first of all, I'm going to add a new folder. The folder will need to be in the root directory, so it's not going to be here. So I'm going to click here outside, and I'm going to say it's going to be .vs code. And once I have my folder here, I'm going to add a new file. And this is going to be called mcp.json. And within this mcp.json, if we go back to the documentation that I had before here, we can see if I want to use the GitHub MCP remotely, what I can do, I can use this one. So I'm just going to copy this one here and I'm going to paste it here. So let's explain what's happening here. So first of all, what's happening is I'm telling that my MCP, so I can have multiple MCP. I can have one for GitHub. I can have one for different services that are available. So here, all of those, every single one of these services is called the server. And what we want to do here is we want to basically specify which server we want to use within our application. And currently, I want to only use the GitHub server. So inside the main server section, what I want to do is I want to add the GitHub one. I can call this whatever I want. I'm calling it GitHub because it's a GitHub server that I want to use. And then what I have here, I'm specifying what type of connection do I want to have to this server. Is it locally? If it's local, I need to specify here it's going to be local. I need to specify all of the parameter. But because it's going to be remotely, it's going to be HTTP, and I'm going to be specifying the URL of this HTTP server. And even we can see here that VS Code directly give us the capabilities to add the server. It will give us the different types of server that are available. If it's locally, it's going to be a Docker or NuGet package. It's going to be either going to be a stdio, which is going to be also locally, and we can take it from there. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be relying on HTTP, and this is going to be the one. So here, I'm not going to be filling it up because I just already filled it. But basically, if we want to do it directly, we have a nice wizard that Visual Studio Code provide to us. So now that I have this in place, we can see here that I have two main buttons. So I have more, which basically give me the different information that I have available here, and I have start. All I'm going to do is I'm going to click on start. So once I've started, basically I have started connecting my application to the MCP server. And we can see here that I can stop it, I can restart it. And if you can see here, it's already connected to my account because I have already run this before. It means it's already authenticated this with my account and has access to my full GitHub repos. So that's why it's directly showing here. But for you, if it's for the first time, it's going to ask you to authenticate and go through all of that process again. So now because it's already authenticated, we can see here that I have 40 tools available and I have 2 prompts available. So if I click on prompts, basically it's assist assign coding agent. We're going to discuss that and different capabilities available. So I'm going to remove this one right now here, and I'm going to come to this section in VS Code, which is going to be called chat. So here, if I click on this tools icon, what do I see? I see here that I'm opening an MCP configuration that's available for me for the chat, build agent chat that currently exists. And I can see now here I have a GitHub action. I have a GitHub MCP. So through that, we can see all of the different tools that are available, or basically all of the different functionalities that are available for me to use. So we can see here I can add comment for pending reviews. I can assign compile it to an issue. I can create a branch. I can create or update a file, create a pull request, create a repository, delete files, get a commit, etc., etc. So we have a lot of different tools available or different functionalities that is available. So that's one aspect. Let me close this. The other one here is we can see we have here agent mode, and this is what I want to do. I want to basically allocate an agent for me to do all of this as well. I have here what AI model I want to use. I want to use GPT-4o. I want to use, for example, GPT-5 mini. I want to use Claude, whatever it is. So now that my server is running, what I want to do is I want to add additional information in order for me to help my model to understand information about my application itself. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create a new folder inside the main directory. And I'm going to, oops, not here. I'm going to make it here. I'm going to say .github, and I'm going to add a new file. I'm going to call it copilot-instructions.md. And within this copilot-instruction.md, what I want to do is I'm going to give the Copilot, or basically the AI tool, as much information about my repository as possible, so it will help it understand and navigate my code. So I'm going to say this project runs on .NET 10 and C#14. I'm going to say make sure all of generated code is inside the, for example, formula1.api for API for controllers, for example, for API related code. For entities, use the Formula 1 entity, and for databases, use Formula 1.data service folder. Here I need to add folder. So that's another instruction that I have given it here. Let's see what other instruction I can give it. So I can add a title. I can say project context. This project racing, I'm gonna say, includes feature for drivers and for what it was achievement, and it uses MCP and it integrates with GitHub through the MCP server. And we can say GitHub repo, we can add it here, which is gonna be, let's copy it from here. So I'm gonna say the GitHub repo is like this. Let's remove this one here, we don't need it. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna save this. And now with that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask it to check how many issues it exists in this repo. For example, if we take a look here, we can see if we go to issues, we should be able to see 0 issues. So here we can see it used the Copilot instructions in order for it to understand information about the project itself. Now basically it went through all of the different MCP service tools that exist and it connected to it and said, it says there is 0 issues. Perfect. And this is what exactly we have. We don't have any issues available. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it. I'm going to say .NET run, and we can see it's running on port 5000. So I'm just going to open a new tab here. I'm going to say localhost 5000. We can see this is my repos. I have my achievements, my drivers, my endpoints. And I'm just going to click on execute here. And we can see here, I can see my drivers. I have the GOAT, which is Lewis Hamilton. And I have here the date of birth. And we can see, first of all, that this is not the date of birth format that I want. We have here, for example, the date and the timestamp. I don't really want the timestamp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask my GitHub. So I'm going to say, create an issue on regarding the driver date of birth. It needs to be in the following format for without the timestamp. I'm gonna say it's gonna be day, month, and year. So let's see what's gonna happen now. So it used the reference, which is the Copilot instructions, and now it's gonna check all of the different tools that exist for GitHub. And once it checks all the different tools, it's gonna check which is gonna be the one that's gonna be regarding the creation of a issue. And then we can see here, it will add a to-do list, And now we can see this is the input. And if we click on see more, this is going to be the full JSON body. And this is an API which is available within GitHub. It's kind of asking our permission to connect to it. I'm going to say allow. It ran it. And now we can see it has created one issue. And if I go back here, go to my issues now, click on refresh, we can see here that I have a new bug has been created for me. And if I click on it, we can see here the behavior. We see the expected behavior. We can see where does it exist and where it needs to be updated for review. Does it just fix? As well as we can see the steps that need to be taken in order for it to be reproduced, which is quite easy to get all this information from a simple prompt from our code editor, which is amazing. And we can see it has opened now. So if I come back here, I can say this create, for example, another issue which enforce this format on all endpoints with dates, for example. So now what's going to do is going to scan my code, check where all of the endpoint that has dates, and then it's going to create a plan, and then it's going to post them. So now we can see it's going through all of that. It's preparing, and see, I want to allow it. I'm going to say allow. Perfect. So now we can see we have 2 items. If I come back here, click on issues, click on refresh, I have another one, which is an enhancement, enforce data on all across all different endpoints. So we can see here, it gave me all the areas to reviews, for example, and it's giving me all of the information. Perfect. So now what I want to do is I want to tell it to open APR, or before we do that, let's go to the instruction list, and I'm going to click on GitHub. I'm going to see all of the different tools that are available for me. So we can see here, create a repository. We don't really want that. For get commit, get create an issue, list a branch, list pull, merge pull request, push file, request pull copilot review. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to fix my code to resolve issue number 1. So now see what's going to happen. Use the reference. It's going to check the different issues that currently exist. It went to the driver.cs. So now we can see that Copilot has already done all of this work. I'm going to click on continue. If I go here, we can see it changed 8 files. And we can see it started to update it. It added a new file. It's doing all of the different formatting, changing the code, Still working on it. I'm going to say a build. It's want to verify that all of the changes are working. And we can see even directly from the console, it's doing the build, and build is succeeded. So now what I want to do once this is finished, I'm going to tell it to create a new branch. And I'm going to call this branch based on the issue. And then what I wanted to do is create a new PR. I'm going to say create a branch based on that issue. And from that branch, create a PR and assign it to me for review. for example, for review. And now basically it's going to use the same reference that we created again. And then it's going to create a new branch. It's going to ask her permission to commit it. And then it's going to create a PR and it's going to assign it to me. We can see exploring GitHub operations, and basically it's exploring all of the GitHub IPs that not IPs that exist. Now we can see what it's doing is basically gathering all of the updates to push to a new branch. It's going to ask me for permission. And again, just a note, I'm using here the Open Models free account basically of OpenAI to do all of this. If you have a paid one, it's going to be much more faster because the model is much more faster to respond to you. Just a note regarding this. So now we can see it has get a branch called fix, DOB format, data only, and it's going to be creating. Now it should ask for my permission. And it's going to ask me to allow it. I'm going to say yes. So now while this is running, I'm just going to go back here. I'm going to go to my code, and now if I click on here, we can see that's already a new branch, fix DOB. And if I go to it, we can see now I have a fix. We can see the description of it, of what happened. If I click on this one here, we can see that basically create a full new branch with all of the information available. Go back to the code, go to pull request. We can see here it's still not creating it. It's going to ask me now for permission to create the pull request. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say allow. We click on refresh. It already created the pull request. It tried to update it afterwards. It didn't. I'm just going to say allow because trying to add it. It's going to add a comment rather than add it. It was working successfully. So now if I go to here, we can see here that this is the pull request, which is the changes, and here we can see the comment that has been added. It's assigned it to me to review it. And if I go to the commits, we can see this is the one commit that has happened. For that pull request, we can see the file is changed, and here we can see the differences of what has been changed between. Let's see here if it's correctly. So commit from main into main from fixed data only, that's correct. And we can see all of this has happened here. So now I wanted to assign it to me, so I'm going to say assign it to me. I'm going to say allow. Now if I go back here, go to pull requests, click on this one, assign PI3 to Mohamad Lawand. It says it's different account. It's Mohamad Lawand Patreon, not Mohamad Lawand, that account I'm logging in, but it's connected. So now something else that I want to pay close attention to here, it's not saying that the AI did it or the MCP did it or the OpenAI. It's basically imitating me. So it's giving me as if I am the user who have created all of this. And it's not referring to itself that has been created through an MCP server. And this is something that we need to keep an eye for, because later on we want to be able to identify which is automatically created by an MCP and which is created by users. So that's something that to keep in mind for. And the last items that I would like to do here, say, for example, close the issue number 2, for example. So now we can see it's closing the GitHub issues. So if I go back to issues here, we can see it's working on it. And now it's going to ask my permissions to close it. So I'm going to say yes. And now if we come back here, we can see now it has a tick on it, which means it has been completed. So this has been a very quick overview about GitHub MCP, when do we want to use it, why we should be use it, and how we can actually use it within our .NET application. It is a very powerful feature that allows us to automate a lot of the work when it comes to managing our repositories, managing all the issues, etc. If you'd like to learn more about it, please let me know in the comments down below. I'll be exploring different MCP servers and how we can actually integrate them within our .NET applications. And if you have any other topics that you'd like me to cover, please let me know. I'll make sure to cover it in a future video as well. The world is a terrible place right now, so don't forget to support the people in Gaza and Sudan. I'm going to add 2 links in the description down below to show your support to them. That will be great. And as always, if you have any questions or any clarification, please make sure you put them in the comments down below. If you'd like to support me, please consider supporting me on Patreon or buying me a coffee. And as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.